Hey everybody, how you doing today? It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here to talk to you about cruise ship vacations, and today I'm going to talk to you about the most frequently asked questions that I get on my live streams that I do Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern and on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. These are the questions I get asked most often from newbies, from people who are thinking of going on a cruise for the first time. You've decided you want to try it. You're looking into it and you want to know a couple of answers to some basic questions. And the number one question I get asked all the time, what's the best cruise line to take for a new cruiser? And the answer is quite simple in a way. It depends on what you want from the cruise. And the typical new first-time cruiser can be aged, generally speaking, from say 30 to 60 years of age, maybe 40 to 60 years of age. Typically fall into that bracket. These folks are not looking for very strenuous type vacations. They're looking for relaxing vacations. If you're traveling without children, you are going to look at cruise lines that offer relaxing, great dining option type cruises with some nice entertainment, but not necessarily action-packed rock climbing walls and that kind of thing. If you're with children, you're looking for the cruise line that can keep those kids busy during the daytime, keep them entertained and engaged. And that might be something like a Disney line with all the Disney characters, or it might be on something like a Royal Caribbean with all of the various toys that they have on board, like the wave riding machine, the flow rider, or the rock climbing wall, or the water slides, and on it goes. For mom and dad or grandma and grandpa who are now in their 60s and want a quiet cruise for the two of them, you might be interested in something like a Celebrity, Holland America, or even Viking cruise lines, Viking Ocean cruise lines, where no children are allowed on Viking, for example, no one under 18. And this is where you get a cruise ship with 930 passengers max. All rooms are balcony rooms. Everything's included, including the specialty dining. Drinks at dinner are included. Makes for a very relaxing and stress-free vacation, although it's a little pricier than a base vacation. Cruise vacations are like cars. You can buy the basic model of a Chevrolet, or you can go right up to a Cadillac, and you've got everything in between. And this is the thing about cruising that works for so many people, because the cruise lines have figured out that they don't have to just appeal only to the seniors anymore. They can appeal to millennials. They can appeal to country music fans, rock and roll fans, fans of peace and quiet. There's a cruise for you. So there's a short answer to a complicated question. Generally though, I recommend the first cruise you want to take should be, you should consider strongly a 1-week cruise. The reason I say 1 week instead of maybe a 3-day cruise, where some people say, well, just want a little taste of it. A 3-day cruise might be too active for you, might be too ruckus for you. It might be too much of a booze cruise for you. Folks who are on a 3-day cruise have very little time to party, but they want to party now. And if you've got a little longer schedule, you want to take it on a cruise, say a 7-day cruise, where you can see 3 or 4 different ports of call, and you can relax between the ports of call. When you come off that ship after day 7, you'll have a full appreciation of what cruising is really about and what it really can do for you. It is a great way to get a mental break from the real world, and it's a great way to really unwind and relax and get a tan and see a few sights, have some great food, enjoy some entertainment. In other words, you get a little of everything, but when you come off the ship, you're less stressed than when you got on, big time. And that's where you want to really focus your energies. For the budget-minded people out there, you want to look at cruises like that are offered from, say, Carnival, but don't limit yourself to Carnival. You go to a place called vacationstogo.com. It's one of my favorite websites to find cruise deals, vacationstogo.com. I'll put that in my description down below after this video airs. And you can go on that site and you can look for cruises from any cruise line at any time of the year you want, in any locale you want. And if you want to know how to operate your computer for that website, you can go to one of my other videos that I've done, how to find a cheap cruise. I've already done a video on how to use vacationstogo.com. Booking a 1-week cruise and looking out a few months is a good idea. If you're looking out, say, 6 months to a year, you may find sales that are, fares that are offered at a good price now to book early. But don't let that scare you. You might find a cruise that has 6 weeks to go before it's going, and there are some deals available for that cruise. If you're a first timer, I would recommend that you want to strongly consider a balcony suite or a balcony room for your first cruise. You want to get the full experience of the cruise ship. Don't limit yourself to an inside room. You want to get yourself into a balcony where you can enjoy your own private space, and you can see the sea in the afternoon, first thing in the morning, and get some fresh air into your room anytime you want it. It's a great experience, and it's a great way to go cruising. You'll note that as you do more research on cruise ships, you'll find that 85% of all rooms are balcony rooms. Only 15% of rooms now have just windows or are inside rooms. Cruise ships are almost eliminating the cheap inside type rooms because they're just not as popular as the balcony suites, and of course the dollars are higher for the cruise line. But that gives you a quick answer as to which cruise line to consider. I go from Carnival to Holland America to Princess, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian. Those are some of the top lines right there, certainly for Caribbean cruising. If your first cruise is going to be an Alaska cruise, all those lines also serve the Alaska market and the Mexican Riviera market as well. I'm talking mainly to North Americans here. If you're in Europe, you're looking at P&O cruise lines, you're looking at Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, you're looking at Carnival, you might be looking at AIDA cruises. There's a number of lines that service the European market, MSC, and then also Viking cruises again for the no children cruises. That's the first question. I hope I've helped you a little bit there. What room should I get? Balcony. Next question, should I get the drink package? People are hearing now about how cruising used to be all-inclusive at one time, and it's not that anymore. 15, 20 years ago, it started off really that cruise ships no longer went with an all first-class only type environment. They really started bringing the price of cruising down, but then they started adding charges for extra services. Alcohol, of course, is one of those add-ons. So if you're on a cruise, say with Carnival or Royal Caribbean or Norwegian, you're going to be paying extra for alcohol. You have an option. You can buy a package where it's so much a day, a flat rate per day, that can run you from 50, 60, 80, up to $100+ a day for a drink package. Some of the deluxe drink packages might include the cappuccino latte type coffees at the coffee bistro inside the ship, like a Starbucks, right to the soft drinks and to the alcohol package. The trick of it is, though, that if you're paying $100, $110 a day for that kind of a package, you got to do the mathematics and ask yourself, can I drink that much for all 7 days? Knowing that for 3 of those days, I'm not even on the ship. I'm going to be off the ship from 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon because I've got some tours booked, and I'll be, eating offshore, off the ship, or drinking alcohol on shore at some of the shore bars or whatnot. I won't even be on the ship to drink those drinks on that drink package. Am I really going to lose money on that deal? Am I better off just paying a la carte? If I want a latte, I'll just buy the latte, charge it to my room. If I want a Rye and Coke, I'll just order a Rye and Coke, charge it to my room. Now you're under no pressure to drink too much or too fast or too hard. You just drink what you like when you like it. New cruisers, you have to know, you're allowed to bring 2 bottles of wine onto your cruise, 1 for each passenger in the cabin, adult of course. And you're also allowed to bring soft drinks aboard. So if you like I do, caffeine-free Diet Coke, you can bring cases of caffeine-free into your luggage on ship. On a 1-week cruise, I'll bring 3 dozen colas with me. My wife and I will share those, and we'll save ourselves $2 a can on 36 cans. That's $72 we don't spend on cola. Although I will buy a cola at the dinner table when I'm in the main dining room, I won't bring a can with me. I'll buy one there and pay the $2.50 for the Coke, and that'll be fine. So drinking alcohol and getting an alcohol package is really a judgment call. If it's a 1-week cruise, I would be careful of that, because if on day 4 the seas are a little rough and you're not feeling too well because of the motion, you're not going to be drinking anything, and now you've lost the $110 that you didn't use. It's non-refundable, and you talk $110 times 7 days, it's $770 in alcohol per person. I wouldn't be going with the drink package if I didn't have to. I really wouldn't. Another question people ask me all the time is the specialty restaurants. Should I buy these specialty restaurant, should I get a dining package? They're offering me that even before the cruise is on, and I can pay so much a day for a specialty dining package. Do I want to do that? Or should I just do a la carte when I go? My answer to that question is a la carte. Don't fall for the deal where they're trying to sell you a deal on the dining package, because remember, the buffet at the back of the ship, which is a huge buffet with a lot of selection, it's included in your fare. The main dining room is included in your fare. And so you may find that out of the 7 nights, 3 nights you're going to do the buffet and you're going to do the main dining room. On the other 4 nights, you might hit up a place like Johnny Rockets on the Royal Caribbean ships. $7 to $10 is the cost per person for a Johnny Rockets. On the other hand, you might have an Italian night. Well, Italian restaurants are $20 to $40 per meal. You might hit that up one time. And on one other day, you might hit up the steakhouse, the premium steakhouse on board. And that's the one day you spend the most. On the other hand, I have talked to passengers who will say to me, my big meal isn't dinner. What I'm doing is I go on shore, say I'm in the Cayman Islands, I'm going to have a big lunch. I'm going to have a big lunch around 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon, and I'm going to go to the Margaritaville or to the Hard Rock Cafe. I'm going to order their steak there. I'm going to have their best cut of steak on shore, and between my wife and I, we're going to spend $75 and get the best of the best rather than paying $120 on the ship for the same meal. And if we're still hungry, 5 hours later, we'll nibble in the buffet for something to top us up. But I got the best meal on shore and I avoided that ship cost. This is something new cruisers don't know, that when you leave the ship for 3 or 4 days, depending on your itinerary, you're going to probably nibble on something on shore, and you can take advantage of the local street vendors. They're delightful in some of these places. Or you're going to hit up a Starbucks on shore, and you might grab a latte and a piece of cake or a muffin or something like that. And you don't need lunch now. And for dinner, you might not feel like you're really hungry at 7 o'clock for a $100 meal. And so you're better off just going to the buffet and check that out and enjoy whatever you like there. If you feel only like having dessert, just have dessert and forget dinner altogether. It's up to you, and you can play it by ear. Another thing I'll tell you about the main dining room, a lot of people think that, oh, for breakfast I got to go to the buffet every morning. No, you don't. You can go to the main dining room every day for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So if it's a sea day and you got time on your hands and you want to have a nice leisurely 1-hour breakfast, go to the main dining room and let them serve you. They'll bring you whatever you want off that menu, and it'll be cooked to order, served by the waiter, and you can sit back. They'll bring you a carafe of coffee or whatever, and you can just enjoy, and you'll be just fine. So the food side of it, you'll love exploring it, and the main dining room food is pretty darn good. Any meal you want. What happens if I get sick on board? Good question. If you get ill on board, it depends on, of course, the sickness, but if you're suffering from seasickness, something like that, you can easily pick up some remedies in the souvenir shops right on the retail floor level. There's a retail floor level on all cruise ships where they'll sell you t-shirts, they'll sell you a bottle of cola, a bottle of water, aspirin. They'll have seasickness remedies there, and they work rather well. Some of them are simple as like a Band-Aid that goes behind your ear here, one on each side. Some of the ships will have, a lot of them will have these wristbands that you put on, one on each wristband, and they're more like an acupuncture thing. A lot of people swear by those. They'll have other recipes there, but if you really are under the weather, and I mean the seasickness is really getting to you, you head down to the medical level, which is I think on usually level 4 or level 5. It'll be on every map on the ship. By the elevators, they have the map of the floor plan. You can always find the medical room. Any staff member can direct you there. The on-ship doctor can take care of you. They'll either give you some Gravol or if they have to, they'll give you an injection, and that'll help stabilize you pretty quickly. If the medical issue is much more serious than that, heart attack or circulatory problems, you're feeling dizzy, or whatever the issue is, they can remedy it pretty quickly, or look after you as best they can until you get to the next port of call. If your medical condition is life-threatening, the doctor will contact the captain about it, and then they will go over the options. If your ship is scheduled to be at a port of call the next morning, and the doctor feels that you're well enough to stay in the medical wing, medical room with the nurse, fine. Otherwise, you'll stay in your suite. But it can happen that there are evacuations made at sea by medical evacuation helicopters, but that all depends on where the ship is and how close to shore it is, and whether there's a helicopter available. My recommendation to first-time cruisers, if you're cruising and you have a history of medical issues, you're taking medication for a lot of ailments, you cannot think of going on a cruise ship without medical insurance. You've got to be covered for everything from emergency medevac coverage to hospital coverage, you name it. It may cost you quite a penny to get it, but boy, it'll save you so much more. I've heard people who've been flown off of the deck of a cruise ship on a helicopter to a hospital, and they've received a bill for $50,000. $100,000. And a lot of them don't have insurance for that. And now these companies are coming to get that money, and they'll put liens on your property, your home, you name it, to get it. It is serious, a serious issue. So if you're suffering from medical ailments already, you want to have medical insurance. If you're young and you're healthy, or if you're in your 40s and 50s, you have no issues of any serious medical issues of any kind, then the likelihood of you coming into something serious is extremely slight. Accidents can happen, obviously. Maybe you fall and twist your wrist, or sprain your wrist, or twist your ankle. I mean, people get injured on cruise ships, of course. But these kinds of issues can be dealt with pretty quickly. Pain medication can be provided. You'll be fine until you get to the next port of call. If you need to evacuate the ship and go to a hospital, and it happens to be in Jamaica or the Cayman Islands or in St. Thomas, then that's the way it is. On the other hand, if you're 2 or 3 days away from getting home back to Miami, where you came from, then you'll tough it out with medication, and hopefully, and then you'll make it to a hospital there, or work your way home. Every case is their own unique case, but for minor ailments, you'll be fine. I always recommend, when you go on a cruise, as far as medications go, you take from what you have at home with you on a cruise. So you take your Tylenol with you. You take all your what Advils that you take some bandages, take for cuts and scrapes, ointments, anything that you have at home that's portable, you bring that along with you. You don't want to pay for it from the medical room if you can at all avoid it, because it's highly marked up, and keep the cost of any treatment down. And hopefully whatever you're ailing from can be dealt with on your own, or long enough until you can see a doctor on shore, again through insurance and what have you. That's a quick recap there. Should I book the cheapest room when I see a Carnival, like a sale on a Carnival cruise or another cruise line? I say no. I say don't book the cheapest price you can find right away. Do your homework. Find out, if you can find out a cruise for $499 for 1 week, find out why that cruise is only $499 instead of $899. Find out if that includes all the charges. It probably doesn't. Also find out what kind of room you're talking about. You might be dealing with the inside room right next to the laundry chute on one side and the freight elevator on the other side of your room. And you won't have a peaceful night's sleep at all for all 7 nights. You don't want to be there. For $50 more, you might be able to get an ocean view room that's just down the hallway looking out out to the sea. And for $100 more for the entire cruise, you might find that the lowest cost balcony room is available 3 floors up, with your own private balcony. The cheapest cruise is the cheapest room on the ship, and might be the one that nobody wants. The cruise lines are trying to get you they're trying to entice you to jump at an offer. And they're hoping that you'll go to their website, and once you're in their website, you'll be lost in a myriad of choices, and you'll forget all about that $499 special that got you there in the first place. And the next thing you know, you're looking at $1,800 for 2 people, or $1,500 each, $3,000 expenditure, because they showed you all these add-ons, and it just sounded so great. And by the time you do the math, you're going, whatever happened to that $499 deal I was looking at? And so you want to be careful about that. Again, go to vacationstogo.com, check out my video, watch that video, and see how you can operate the site, and it'll help you find deals that are truly deals for, in other words, the best room you can get for the money. That's really what you want out of a cruise, okay? Now, I hope I've helped you with some of these questions. Some of these questions are the most frequently asked questions I get from cruisers, especially new cruisers. But those of you who haven't cruised in 5 or 10 years, I've got a surprise for you. Things have changed. Things are changing every week on the cruise lines, and you really want to stay on top of this, because some of the new charges that they've come up with are kind of reminding me of airlines and hotels. We never used to hear about resort fees at hotels. They had a pool. They had the sun deck. Why is there a resort fee? You built it 25 years ago. Now you're charging me an extra fee because you had it there for 20 years? Ridiculous. Cruise ships are coming up with all kinds of novel ways to do add-ons. And you have to be careful of that when you see a super, super special deal advertised on the internet or wherever else you find it. So do your homework, do some research, check out vacationsco.com, but check out my my YouTube site. I have got 150 videos out there. I do a live stream every day, Monday to Friday, where I talk cruise ships. It's an open Q&A. Anyone can ask me anything they want to know about going on a cruise, what's going on in the cruise business, any new rumors that we've heard that are going on. And if I don't have the answer, one of my viewers that will be watching will probably have the answer, and we'll have the answer pop up on the screen in mere minutes. So I welcome you to join me Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock Eastern, and we'll set you straight. I hope this video was helpful for you today. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. There should be a button here or there with a little thumb up on it. And if you really like this video, subscribe to my channel. There's a button here, there's a button there. Hit the subscribe button. There's another button, a little bell icon. I think it's over here. And if you click on that, you'll get notifications every time I load up another video. And I'm going to keep these videos coming on cruising and how to find a good deal on a cruise, what you can pack, what you shouldn't pack. I got way more products, more information for you coming up on these videos. And I invite you to join me and tag along. If you have any questions, just drop them below here in the comment box. Just below this video, you'll see an area there where you can ask me anything you want or comment on my video. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll try to reply as best I can, as quick as I can. Okay, if I don't see you on the live streams, I'll see you another time. Thanks for joining me today. This is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying so long for now. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.